Three objective arguments which prove that Christianity is not of this world. Something very important happened 2000 years ago. It came with an ultimate promise of never-ending life. Was this from God or a human deception? If a group of people got together and invented Christianity, then ignoring it is fair. But if the origin of Christianity is the act of God, then we better pay close attention, as this is our only chance. Here are three compelling arguments that Christianity is not of this world. Christianity is the only way of life from all religions that has objective arguments supporting its non-human and unearthly origin. That means the origin is from God, and we better take this seriously. Here are three basic arguments, objective arguments. Each argument will end with a question for pondering. Christianity began with persecution. The first argument, the easiest, requiring no special historical knowledge. Unlike other religions, Christianity began with the monstrous persecution. The leader was crucified. One of the 12 disciples betrayed him, and the rest of them, except John, were executed. Yet people were following. Until the year 313, 10 waves of monstrous persecution hit Christians. Roman historian of the 1st century Cornelius Tacitus writes that the Emperor Nero placed Christians at stakes in his garden and burned, serving also as torches for the spectators. When the day was over, the most popular persecution was throwing Christians to the lions. Let's imagine a similar situation these days. Now the questions for pondering. Who would go to join this religion? Who would want to sacrifice his or her life for a religion about which nothing is virtually known? How could Christianity survive if most of followers are killed in such hideous ways? Let historians try to explain this. Acts of Apostles describes what happened to those who sincerely accepted the faith in Jesus. Many of them were immediately given the gifts of miracles, prophecy, and healing, but most importantly, they received such knowledge of God in their souls that removed all fear of torment and suffering. Therefore, without recognition of the fact that in this religion God Himself acted and livened and encouraged His people, is it possible to understand the existence of Christianity today? How could the fishermen spread truths fundamentally differing from analogues of Judaism and paganism? That's the second argument. It's a doctrinal argument. It is the most extensive. Basic Christian truths like Trinity and Incarnation fundamentally differ from all analogues of Judaism and paganism of the era in which Christianity was born. We know about Jesus from the writings of uneducated, remotely provincial fishermen who were the gospel writers. They simply stated and wrote what they had seen, heard, and experienced. They stated and did not invent. These were often things that they themselves did not understand. They were not even really literate, and all of a sudden, they write about things and truths about which philosophers and thinkers of all ages come in bewilderment, like "Kingdom of God is within you." Questions to ponder. Where did these truths come from? The only literate and learned person among them was Paul, but he said openly and with stunning clarity, "But we preach Christ crucified, a stumbling block to Jews and foolishness to Gentiles," in his first letter to Corinthians, chapter 1, verse 23. How do you reconcile all of this together? The third argument, the question of who is saved according to Christianity. That's the third argument, the spiritual and moral one. Ask the following question to any religion. Who is saved from a religious point of view of that religion? Everyone will answer you, those who fulfill the requirements of that religion and keep the commandments. But in Christianity, no such a thing. What requirement fulfilled the criminal on the cross whom Jesus said, "Today you will be with me in paradise"? Luke chapter 23, verse 43. What commandment did he keep? He was a convicted criminal and acknowledged it. Who baptized him? Communion was just instituted a day before the crucifixion, and only the apostles took it. A criminal, felon, and he is the first to go to heaven. In this sense, Christianity is an anti-religious religion. Think about it. How come? Where does this come from? All of his students were Jews, grown up in Jewish religious law. How could they preach something like this, the followers, even when their master was crucified? Why would they go and preach if their master was crucified? These are objective things. Regardless of your faith in Jesus Christ, it will be useful for you to think about them because your life is at stake. And yes, perhaps the origin of Christianity is found elsewhere, wherever you may think, but certainly the Christianity is not from this world. It simply contradicts the worldly logic. Thank you for listening, dear friends. I mostly translated and paraphrased the above writings from the writings of Alexei Osipov, a well-known Russian Orthodox theological professor and lecturer from Moscow Orthodox Theological Seminary. Have a wonderful day.